Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of my F1 23 MyTeam career mode. This is part 43 here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. If you did miss the last episode, it was an Oscar Piastri win at Monza with a double Ferrari podium as well for themselves at their home race, and it was a terrible race for ourselves. We did not score any points whatsoever, so definitely need to be trying to improve that. Now, taking a look here at the performance chart, so McLaren remained the fastest car on the grid. It's quite the close battle between Aston Martin, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes there for who's going to be the second fastest car. And unfortunately for ourselves, we're starting to fall further behind Haas at the moment as well. So we really need to pick up the pace for the R&D for the rest of the season if we want to try and get ourselves anywhere close to possibly trying to make a resurgence here in the Drivers' Championship. We started off very strong and have slowly been falling back down the field in the drivers' standing, so definitely need to try and get ourselves back at the front here in Abu Dhabi, as now we jump straight into our practice programs for the weekend. And I was already down on my lap time, but unfortunately Iwasa just blocked me straight up coming into the final section here that turns 12-13. So we're going to come in for a box here. We're not going to get the purple result that we desperately wanted here, and we were eventually starting to find a little bit of pace around the circuit as well, and crossing the line here now to finish our track program to get ourselves in the purple actually there. So at least we're getting something nailed. And now we've just lost a gear here, so our gearbox is absolutely rooted at the moment. I reckon that was fifth gear we've actually lost in the end, or fifth or fourth. It definitely fourth gear that we've actually lost there, as I tried to go down into fourth there for the turn 9 hairpin, and ahead they were going 3 wide as well. So it's all happening here in practice, and now as I was trying to go for a bit of a better lap, as the pace was still there surprisingly considering we were down a gear, unfortunately we just couldn't get it done and locked up going into that chicane. Carlos Sainz, Esteban Ocon and George Russell used top 3 there, but I think the times are a little bit glitched here because Carlos Sainz is 1.8 seconds faster on the hard tyres than everyone else. Myself, P21 there, and our teammate P8, so definitely got some work to do as we head into qualifying here. So we're looking to try and get ourselves out of Q1 and possibly Q2. At the moment with the pace of the car, Q2 is definitely where I want to be aiming for in this qualifying session, as we now are about to head straight out onto the circuit. And here we come around the final corner to cross the line a little bit wide on the exit, but keep it within the track confines. It's currently P4 as now come to the end of another lap here. We go into the corner down, but we get a better exit, and we're going to go about a 10th up. It's the purple final sector, and that puts us P11, but I'm still not feeling too comfortable with that. We're currently sitting P12, so we may have been alright. A little bit wide on the exit once again, and that puts us P10. So Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, and Charles Leclerc, your top 3 here in qualifying one. Myself, P10 at the moment, 9/10 of a second down, and Alex Albon, P13. He's a second down, so very close between us and our teammate. But need to find some more time, as now going into the next qualifying session. We're actually currently being raced by one of the Ferraris, I think it is, and there was a little bit of a tap there, so definitely not a look it is. And it was actually Zhou there in the Sauber who gave us a little tap going through this. Now we're going to try again, and there's 2 Red Bulls in the way, and we're trying to go for another fast lap on this set of tyres, and we had to go around with the first Red Bull of Sergio Perez, who was coming out of the pits, and the other Red Bull of Max Verstappen, who I'm guessing who also came out of the pits, was parked right where I wanted my car to go. So definitely not where I wanted those 2 cars to be, and that has really ruined our run here in qualifying. But now on a fresh set of rubber, can we cross the line and improve to get ourselves into Q3? Yes, it is currently P5 for ourselves. As now Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, Oscar Piastri is your top 3. So Verstappen leads a Red Bull 1-2 in qualifying to ourselves P5, half of a second down. Unfortunately for our teammate, it doesn't seem like he got a very good lap in, because he's currently sitting P16. As now we head straight into qualifying 3 here. This is our first run, and probably going to be one of our only fast laps. We'll do a cool down lap and go again, but at the moment it's currently sitting P10, and now this is definitely our final run. A bit wayward on the exit, and unfortunately it's still going to be P10, but we did better than I thought getting ourselves into Q3 here. Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon, your top 3. Myself, P10, 1.6 seconds down. So absolute shocking final qualifying there. Didn't expect ourselves to be that far down.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Ocon, Norris, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Perez, Bottas, the Rainmaster, Sargent, Zhou, Magnussen, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Albon, Gasly, Liam Lawson, Drugovic, Iwasa, Sonoda, and Nick de Vries. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
Here we are on the grid. I'm going to be going for old trusty medium to the hard tyres here. I reckon if we can try and keep it to a one-stop. I don't want to do the two-stop that the alternate strategy is trying to provide me here. So stick it with the one-stop and play it by a year based on safety cars. It is getting towards the pointy end of the season. So I reckon the desperation from some people trying to boost themselves up through the championship ladder will definitely be up here. So I reckon from all the races now on, a safety car could be very well possible. So just got to keep that in mind and be ready for anything that comes at us, and try not to stick to the strategy to the book, as now we pull up to the grid, purple starting position. So doing everything we can to try and optimize our start here on the medium tyres. It is 5 red lights and we are off here. Almost looked like Valtteri Bottas there may have jumped the start just slightly. He got a very good initial start, and because he's bogged down in the secondary phase of the start, we're going to take his position now on the outside on the racing line, and we're going to sweep around the outside of Sergio Perez to get ourselves immediately up into P8. Charles Leclerc takes the pole position away from Max Verstappen at the moment, so he's currently sitting at P1, is now back on board with ourselves. We're going to go for a very big dive bomb here down into turn 5 to get ourselves past Carlos Sainz. Actually a bit of snap of oversteer there to kind of push him out wide. Now he's under attack there from Sergio Perez as well, so we kind of held him up there, and now Sergio is going to definitely be looking to try and get him by him. But look at Zhou there in the Sauber. He is all over the shot trying to find a way past the Alpine, it looks like it was, and for George Russell and Esteban Ocon here, side by side, the two Mercedes, we're going to make it 3 wide coming down this back straight at the moment, and we're still sitting 3 wide at the moment, as now we head down into this turn 9 hairpin. Ocon's going to get the position. We're going to try and sneak it down the inside of Russell. It kind of went for a very late apex there, and it seems to have worked, as we did get the move done. As now from behind us, Logan Sargent, surprisingly, he's going to be trying to get this position off of Valtteri Bottas to get himself into the points here very early on in this race. But I reckon the Aston Martin, definitely with where they are on the performance chart, should definitely be consistently inside the top 10, and unfortunately they just haven't been doing that in recent times. It's now Max Verstappen on lap 2 here is looking to get himself past Charles Leclerc. He's going to go around the outside going into the chicane here, which will give him the second part of the chicane up the inside, and that is going to be Max Verstappen up into P1 for now. As looking behind, Charles Leclerc's now under attack from Lando Norris, so the two McLarens look very pacey indeed, as now we've kind of got like a 3-way, nearly 4-way battle for the lead here in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Ourselves still sitting there P6 in a Mercedes sandwich, but currently just sitting in the DRS and trying to slowly make our way to this top 4. They're battling hard. You can see we are closing in, and we're just sitting in this DRS train as Lando Norris now goes around the outside of Max Verstappen, as Verstappen did to him just the lap before. Now it's going to be Norris now back into P1, as now we do a bit of an order check here. So it's going to be Lando Norris leading the way from Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. That's the podium at the moment. Oscar Piastri, S1 Ocon, myself currently sitting in P6 in that Mercedes sandwich still. George Russell P7. Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, and Logan Sargent rounds out the points at the moment. There's Valtteri Bottas, Kevin Magnussen, our teammate Alex Albon trying to defend from the Aston Martin of Nico Hulkenberg and the Sauber of Zhou Guanyu. Pierre Gasly currently also sits in P17, as now we cut to the front, and Max Verstappen has taken the lead back from Lando Norris, going around the outside, going into the chicane, obviously giving him the inside for the second part of the chicane, and now Charles Leclerc is looking to get himself now past Lando Norris as well, and they're going 3 wide at the moment, and it looks like now Max Verstappen is going to be the big loser from that, going from the lead down to P3. Can Leclerc sweep around the outside of Lando Norris and get himself the lead from P3 only a few corners ago? And he does. And now, they're cutting to the next lap, going down into the chicane. It is going to be Charles Leclerc under attack from Lando Norris. And you can see that in the background, we are lurking. We are currently still in the DRS of Esteban Ocon, who's really not that far away. He's only a few tenths away from getting into that DRS of Max Verstappen. And that could really cause this battle to escalate, as Lando Norris gets the door shut on him from Charles Leclerc, and so he's going to have another go at trying to take the lead here, and it looks like he's going to get this one done much earlier going into the chicane, and that is Lando Norris now up into the lead. As now we cut to our onboard here, and you'll see there Oscar Piastri is currently going side by side with Charles Leclerc at the moment, which is really bunched up this pack here and kind of let Lando Norris off the hook at the moment. He's bolted up the road out of any DRS sort of threat, and so now with the power of DRS. Can we try and make anything work here? We brake very late and try and go around the outside of Esteban Ocon. Are we going to be able to make it stick? We get onto the power and we have a little bit of a moment there. Have to catch it, get off the throttle, and go wide. And unfortunately, have to let Esteban Ocon back through. And that is going to be us still currently stuck in P6. As now Max Verstappen is trying to go down the inside of Oscar Piastri. He's actually going to get it done well and surely before the braking zone. So they're very easy overtake in the end for Max Verstappen. As now we do a bit of another order check here. So it's going to be Lando Norris leading the way from Max Verstappen, and Oscar Piastri is the final podium position at the moment. Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon, myself, currently P6, still in that Mercedes sandwich, just ahead of George Russell. Then it's Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Logan Sargent currently sitting P10 in that Aston Martin, rounding out the points of Valtteri Bottas, Kevin Magnussen, Nico Hulkenberg, Zhou Guanyu, Pierre Gasly, Ayumu Iwasa. Then it's the two AlphaTauris of Yuki Tsunoda and Nick De Vries, Felipe Drugovich, who's Stroll currently sitting P20 in that Sauber, Liam Lawson as well in P21. Unfortunately for our teammate, he's already had to make a pit stop, so he's currently down in P22 as Oscar Piastri and Charles Leclerc are going at it once again, coming down this DRS straight. Is this going to give us the opportunity to try and make some sort of move stick as well? We are lurking in the background as now Charles Leclerc's under attack from Esteban Ocon, so he's gone from being the attackee to under attack actually, and so now ourselves there, you can see us, we're looking for any way through. We're going for cutbacks, undercuts, anything we can do to try and get ourselves past in a little bit of a sneaky position, trying to make anything work from this. And we try to go around down the inside of turn 14, but it wasn't quite meant to be, as now this is a replay of Carlos Sainz. And this is how he got past George Russell. He was sitting behind us while all that battling was happening, so just simply around the outside at turn 9. Very easy overtake in the end, and is now on board here with Valtteri Bottas. He's looking to get himself back into the points by getting himself past a Logan Sargent here, and a very simple overtake going around the outside, giving him the inside for the final part of the chicane, and that's him up into P10 now. On board with ourselves now. We've gone very late under the brakes to try and make sure we close up to Esteban Ocon. We're going to be trying to go for a bit of an alternate line there to try and open up our steering much sooner, to get onto power sooner, to give us a bit of a run, and it seems to be working. We're pulling side by side with Esteban Ocon coming down the back straight. Can we make the move stick this time, going into turn 9? This time, we're sending it in deep, sacrificing a bit of mid-corner speed to get onto the throttle a little bit earlier, and that seems to have worked us, and we're now up into P5, and we can try and get ourselves to the back of Charles Leclerc, who's currently still battling Oscar Piastri. So if these guys keep battling as hard as they are at the moment, we can very well get ourselves onto the podium here and try and drive away from these people, but we're going to have to try and make sure that we do this overtake strategically to make sure that we can pull away out of the DRS threat. And you see here Oscar Piastri trying to go around the outside of turn 9. Is he going to be able to get the move done here? Once again, we're also trying to look for a way through here, using some very adventurous lines here. They continue to go side by side as they go into turn 12 here, but now Charles Leclerc down the inside of turn 13 and turn 14 there to make sure that he keeps the position here. Now, this is on board with Kevin Magnussen here. So at this point in time, he is currently sitting P12. That is Logan Sargent just taking P10 away from Valtteri Bottas. And so is it Kevin Magnussen about to get himself a double overtake here? Logan Sargent goes defensive for Valtteri Bottas, which leaves the door wide open for Kevin Magnussen to sweep around the outside of turn 9. So a very opportunistic move there from Kevin Magnussen to get himself now into the points. Haas into the points is very good to see in this series. Is now back on board with ourselves, and these two have been battling it out very hard. So we're looking to get ourselves past one of these two now. Similar thing to Esteban Ocon. We've gone very late under the brakes, tried to not lock anything up, opened up our steering much sooner to try and get ourselves a bit of a run. Unfortunately, this time we can't get really too much of a run, but we're going to hang it around the outside still and trying to see if we can't get the better exit. Oscar Piastri tries to squeeze us a little bit. Luckily, there's a bit of curb there for us to use, and we're still going to go side by side as we head into turn 12 now. This should be move sealed and done, and now we can try and work ourselves towards getting ourselves past Charles Leclerc. Now on board here with Valtteri Bottas. It looks like he could be eyeing up a very similar move, taking inspiration from what Kevin Magnussen did only a few laps ago to get himself also possibly from P12 up into P10, and it looks like Logan Sargent hasn't learned his lesson. He's defended from Kevin Magnussen, leaving the door wide open for Valtteri Bottas here to sweep around the outside and get himself back into the points there. So brilliant racing from the lower mid-pack there. Yes, now, lap 14, we're coming in for our, hopefully, one and only pit stop here. We'll get it all stopped on the dime there to try and make sure that we do not get ourselves a pit lane speeding penalty here, and see if we can't possibly try and jump anyone here. A lot of people have stayed out the extent of this medium tyre stint. So will it be a good pit stop here going onto the hard tyres? It's a very good pit stop, but unfortunately we get held up there by what seemed to be the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, and we only just get ourselves ahead of George Russell, so very nearly losing a spot to George Russell. And the car felt very unsettled going through there, so I wonder if George maybe hit us just a tiny little bit. And you'll see there, George has actually backed off massively. We've already got ourselves over a second to George Russell's. Now we look at a replay here, so he very nearly jumped us in the pits, and now as we unghost and going into this very awkward pit lane, he gets his braking all wrong, and he's hit the back of us in the pit lane. So he's going to have to come back into the pit lane and make another overtake. And now, coming into the chicane, there's a yellow flag, and it looks like there's an Aston Martin currently stationary. They've got moving once again, and it is Logan Sargent, who has had some sort of issue there. Seems like he's got himself back going, and now as we ride on board, what's happened here to Logan Sargent? He's got a bit sideways on the exit, and he's gassed it up to try and save it, and all he's done is just looped it on the exit of turn 7 there. And so back on board with ourselves here. We're really pushing, as you can see there, getting it sideways on the exit of the final corner there. And look at the train of cars currently in the pit lane. Are we able to jump anyone? We've jumped Oscar Piastri in the pits there, and so looking forward to try and get ourselves up to Charles Leclerc, but he's actually extended his lead over us through this pit phase here, so we're going to have to try and catch him once again. But on his outlap, Esteban Ocon's got so much pace on these hard tyres, he's just going to send it down the inside, and with that pace, I'm now thinking, what if I hang with him? Is he going to be able to get us to the back of Charles Leclerc for us to have a shot at getting ourselves on the podium? So we're going to hang tight, sitting behind Esteban Ocon at the moment, and see how this goes for a few laps, to see if he does make up any ground on him as Sergio Perez gets himself past Oscar Piastri there. And Piastri looks like he's had a bit of a sluggish exit. Is he going to be under attack now from the likes of Carlos Sainz as well? Carlos Sainz does have DRS on Oscar Piastri. Sainz looking around the outside here at turn 9, and he's going to sweep around the outside on those hard tyres. To be fair, though, they're both on the hard tyres, so it looks like Oscar Piastri's just lost pace going onto these hard tyres. And now for ourselves, Esteban Ocon has done very well. He's got us within striking distance of Charles Leclerc, and Ocon's hit us. He's hit us under the brakes, and now we have got side pod damage. That is just great. A few laps to go. We're looking to try and go for the podium, and we've just been given side pod damage from a really stupid move from Esteban Ocon. But anyways, we're going to have to keep going at it. Max Verstappen just takes the lead away from Lando Norris, so that gap that Norris had has dissipated now after the pit stop phase here. And with DRS, we're going to look around the outside of Charles Leclerc going into turn 9. The same thing that we did many laps ago before the pit stop phase. Remember, fast in, slow mid-corner, but fast out. And that's got ourselves now onto the podium. So now we're going to be doing our best here to defend this and try and use these opening, the rest of this final sector and the first sector to try and pull a gap here. But we haven't just been able to do it. Charles Leclerc has got DRS back on us, but it's fine because now you'll notice that I reckon he passed us before the detection point, so we should be getting the DRS once again to try and see if we can't line up an attack here. This is Oscar Piastri. While we were being overtaken, he is getting himself past Carlos Sainz once again, so maybe he just needed a little bit of time there to allow those hard tyres to wake up a little bit. Now on the final lap here, we're a bit far back from Charles Leclerc, so I don't think we're going to be able to make a move. Ocon has used his straight line speed to get down past us as well, but we're desperate to try and keep this P4 at a minimum, so we have squeezed him all the way out and pretty much done him dirty because now he's under attack from Sergio Perez. But it's going to be Max Verstappen who crosses the line to take victory here in Abu Dhabi, the first repeat winner of this season. And for ourselves, we've came close, but we haven't quite been able to do it. It's P3 for ourselves.
A real team effort then, which has paid off in spades. A great victory here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team.
Well, there we have it. That is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix done and dusted for Season 3 of this MyTeam career mode. It was a win for Max Verstappen. He's adding yet another win to that very impressive win tally. And again, the first repeat winner this season. As we now take a look at the rest of the top 10. So myself, very close to a podium, sitting P4, Esteban Ocon P5, Sergio Perez and Oscar Piastri, Carlos Sainz. Kevin Magnussen ends up P9, and Valtteri Bottas P10. George Russell, that mistake in pit lane where he hit us, has actually cost him a shot at getting points. So a very bad mistake there for our reigning world champion, and our teammate Alex Albon also had a bit of a shocker race in the end, having to do a two-stop, finishing P19. And now the Drivers' Championship, Lando Norris leads the way by 35 points over Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez third, 45 points off the lead. Myself fourth, 47 points to the lead, and Alex Albon 10th in the Drivers' Championship, 133 points off the lead. And now looking at the Constructors' Championship, McLaren leads the way by 25 points over Red Bull, and Brabham, we find ourselves third in the Constructors, 125 points off the lead. So, Constructors' Championship a bit far out of reach, I reckon, now. And now, back at the HQ here, we're going to be looking to try and really pump out some updates here to try and get ourselves further up the grid. I'm not really liking the fact we're behind Haas at the moment, and I want a shot at this World Drivers' Championship. We're still within touching distance of it, so we're going to do a fabrication upgrade here in the chassis department, and that is going to be all for this episode. If you did enjoy it, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode where we take on Saudi Arabia. See ya.